Hello, I'm Maya Koma, and this summer I was lucky enough to participate in a research program that allowed me to do a study in neuroscience. Let me tell you a little bit more about what I researched. My study was called The Effects of Working Memory on Rhythm Discrimination Tasks in Adults Who Stutter. Let me take you through it bit by bit. The first component is working memory. Working memory is the brain's ability to retain information while focusing on another stimulus. One way this can be measured is by having participants memorize a string of letters while solving math problems in between the letters. This is the task that we did for this study. The second component is rhythm discrimination tasks. Now, in this context, discrimination means that you're telling the difference between things, and rhythm discrimination means you're deciding if two rhythms are the same or if they're different. The last component is adults who stutter. This refers to stuttering as a chronic neurological condition. Now, scientists agree that speech, hearing, and rhythm are very closely linked. So what we are looking for particularly in this study is compensation. That is the big word. You see, previous studies have found that for adults who stutter, performance is about the same as control groups for simple rhythms when telling two rhythms apart. However, for complex rhythms, adults who stutter do markedly worse than controls in telling the rhythms apart. This suggests that although adults who stutter have deficits in their neural networks that prevent them from telling rhythms apart, they are relying on other mechanisms or compensating to be able to tell simple rhythms apart just as effectively as people who have never stuttered. In this study, besides measuring working memory, we also measured the participants' ability to tell rhythms apart. We did this for simple rhythms, which fall evenly across beats, something like this. Whereas complex rhythms, the notes do not fall evenly across the beat. Here is what we found. As you can see on the x-axis, that is a measure of working memory, and the y-axis measures a participant's ability to tell rhythms apart. Now, you see the adults who stutter group in yellow with the yellow lines on the scatter plot. As you can see, there is a significant positive correlation between working memory and rhythm discrimination abilities for adults who stutter. However, there is not a significant positive correlation for the control group. So this suggests that the adults who stutter are indeed relying upon memory to be able to tell the rhythms apart. If you are a person who stutters, you have to do twice the work for a task as simple as telling two rhythms apart because you don't have these neural networks that allow you to process the rhythms effectively.